establishments. D. Conducting workshops for all employees of medical establishments, including doctors, nurses, and helpers, on handling grief and crisis. E. Constitution of employees' safety committees composed of doctors, interns, residents, and nurses at every medical establishment to conduct quarterly audits on institutional safety measures. F. Including additional requirements on institutional safety measures for medical professionals as a criteria for accreditation of healthcare establishments by the National Accreditation Board for Hospitals and Healthcare Providers. And G. The possibility of establishing police posts in medical facilities commensurate with the footfall, bed strength, and facilities. 2. Prevention of sexual violence against medical professionals. A. The Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013 applies to hospitals and nursing homes, including private healthcare providers. In terms of the provisions of the Act, an internal complaints committee must be constituted in all hospitals and nursing homes. B. The duties of an employer listed under Section 19 of the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act 2013, which includes organizing sensitization programs and providing a safe working space, must be discharged. And C. Ensuring for every medical institution a helpline number for medical professionals, which is open 24/7, and emergency distress facilities. It is clarified that the phrase medical professionals used in this judgment encompasses every medical professional, including doctors, medical students who are undergoing their compulsory rotating medical internship as a part of the MBBS course, resident doctors and senior resident doctors, and nurses, including those who are nursing interns. The phrases medical establishments, hospital, medical institutions are interchangeably used. The NTF shall be at liberty to make recommendation on all aspects of the action plan highlighted above and any other aspects which the members seek to cover. They are at liberty to make additional suggestions where appropriate. The NTF shall also suggest appropriate timelines by which the recommendations could be implemented based on the existing facilities in hospitals. The NTF is required to consult all stakeholders, bearing in mind the gravity and urgency of
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. 10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come.
One second, I can just say, when that is.
Lord, what is shared by
My lord, can I just add one thing, my lord?
only what is shared?
Principal of the college, is he now under suspension? Is he on long leave? What is happening?
He's on leave. He's on leave. High Court order. High Court order is Miller's operative. He's on leave. He's on leave. There's an SIT constituted also. For all kinds of things. My lord, can I?
Lords, I would.
Anywhere, right?
No. But can I add one thing? That's why I said,
I
whatever
would,
your lordship says, we'll
repeat
abide
my
by it. That's
request,
not enough.
Whatever is shared,
My-
with your lordships, Lord, the CBI must be
Yeah.
given.
No, we will file an
But
affidavit.
you have shared something with the
One
court.
second.
You can't
No,
have
no,
any
no.
objection.
At not this point, Mullahs. In
Lord,
fact, what
no,
is
I am on that point
What
first.
happens is, Mullahs, this goes to them, then the social media takes action. It'll
No, there must
exacerbate the
be a-
situation. This is only to inform your lordships, Mullahs, that what's in the social media is not correct, and what's happening is just contrary
Then
to
why
what the
can't you
record is.
share with
For
CBI?
example, they say it's a
Lord,
suicide. It is not a
your
suicide. We
lordship
never
is
said.
tainted.
We will, but Mr. Sibal, there was undoubtedly an unexplained delay.
Mullahs, I am not on merit.
Yes, Lord.
I am not on
What
that.
is to hide from CBI?
Mullahs,
Lord,
one second.
This shows we are
One
not
second,
getting
I
cooperation.
am not on that, Mullahs. Mullahs, as I said, whatever needs to be done must be done. People must be convicted. There is no issue on that. It's just that I don't want, Mullahs, another kind of tirade in the social media.
No, it
Mullahs,
will not be. You give it to
will be, it will
CBI.
be.
You
I
have
know
supposed
it.
to give it to CBI.
One more thing. The state must ensure that those who practiced acts of vandalism and
Absolutely.
Yes.
We have lodged
37.
37 already arrested, 50 FIRs filed. 37 already arrested.
50 FIR for one incident. It's
Let's be
a
clear.
recipe for not investigating.
You have one second. You have a copy of before we part to the matter for today, you have a copy of the autopsy report here?
Yes.
We have it. We have it.
I have.
We hand it over. Yes. In the meantime,
Lord, would, my Lord,
my lord?
again request, my Lord, if your lordships have seen something your lordships have, Lord, the CBI must be given. It will remain, my Lord, confidential. But we must cross-check what is given to you.
Your lordship.
This, the resistance shows that there is a lack of
No,
cooperation.
obviously
with
there is a lack of faith.
Let me
Your
do that on that day, Mr.
Only 1 second,
Yes,
my lord.
day after tomorrow.
Give
My Lord,
the entire thing.
today, my Lord, they can give me today. My joint director is here. I'll give it to her.
Oh, yeah. Allow, yeah. Just allow. Yes. Yes. Now, my
What
lord,
is there to hide from
one
CBI,
second,
my
one
Lord?
second.
If they have given
Nothing is-
something related
Go on.
to crimes, it must be given, my Lord, to the
Kindly see-
CBI.
Kindly see page 40. Kindly
Don't read it aloud, we'll just.
page 40.
पेट को बोलो काम शुरू करें
Yes, I know.
स्टेट को बोलो काम शुरू करें
Hmm. Explain this. I'll just say, read. Outside.
Only know, my lord, what is being shown to your lord.
It's the post-mortem report, which is in the
Say
case
that, I
diary.
asked you 4 times, what is the, why hide this?
Yes, I'll give the, he has case diary, has it, Malad? Post-mortem report is there. I don't know why I'm showing nothing else.
Case diary has been handed over to
Handed
the
over
CBI.
to the CBI.
The entire case diary, inclusive of.
Yeah, inclusive of
Ah,
this.
yeah.
For the safety of lady doctor.
She's not a lady. Yeah.
Resting on that now. The Supreme Court there taking up the case of the rape and murder of the 31-year-old trainee doctor in the Kolkata Medical College, questioning why was no FIR filed and why was there a delay of 3 hours after the body was handed over for cremation. The Chief Justice of India has also gone on to say a national task force will be set up consisting of doctors, setting out, as far as the modalities are concerned in regard to safety in hospitals, highlighting that safety is the highest concern. This is what is being said in court while addressing and urging the doctors to assume work. Now, they have in fact gone on to say, also raising concerns regarding the identity of the victim that had been made public, questioning what was the police doing really when the vandalism that took place, the principal there trying to pass off the situation as a suicide. So that is also a question that has been raised in the Supreme Court today. So the CBI has now been asked to file a status report, and the deadline has been given to the CBI to file that status report by Thursday. This is before the case, the hearing that's going to be coming up on the 22nd, and even the government of Bengal has been asked to submit a report. So these are the demands that are being made as far as the safety is concerned. So there are certain protocols that now need to be looked into as far as the running of a hospital is concerned. The lack of institutional safety is a big concern, and they're talking about this is not just a matter of Kolkata, but this is concerning the entire country. This is a matter of national interest. The nation cannot wait for another rape for real changes to take place on the ground, is what the Chief Justice of India has highlighted, saying that women doctors are more susceptible to sexual violence, and which is why, that safety measures need to be put into place, which is why they're setting up that national task force, which will consist of doctors, which will lay out the modalities, raising questions when it comes to restroom facilities which are not available. No transportation is being given to doctors to reach back home after long shifts. No proper functioning of CCTV cameras. So questioning as to why were there no functioning CCTV cameras when it comes to that particular hospital and across hospitals, in fact, across the country. As far as lack of screening is concerned when it comes to arms and ammunition, and also the access when it comes to the family members of patients, which is somehow available all across the hospital. So the demands that are being made now, what is going to change on the ground is there needs to be separate duty rooms for male and female doctors. There should be better crowd management at the hospitals with adequate lighting at all places inside the hospital. So within the confines of the hospital now, adequate lighting has to be made sure. CCTV cameras have to be installed at all exit and entry points. And also now what is being said by the Chief Justice of India in the Supreme Court is that they need to provide transportation when it comes to the medical staff from 10 o'clock at night till about 6 o'clock in the morning. So along with adequate lighting, CCTV cameras that need to be put as far as the entry and exit points are concerned, and also now drop-back facilities have to be ensured as far as healthcare staffers are concerned from 10 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning. And also the CJI, the Chief Justice of India, has gone on to say that workshops need to be conducted in order for doctors to learn how to manage during crisis. And of course, this is of national interest, is what the Chief Justice of India has said, that the safety of doctors is of prime concern. This doesn't concern just one-off incident, and we can't wait for another such incident to change things on the ground. So now, there are many questions which are being raised as far as the case is concerned. They are talking about the principal who was, perhaps trying to pass this situation off as a suicide, talking about how he was instated into another college 2 days after, he was made to leave from the post as far as this particular college where the crime that took place, questioning why was it that he was then reinstated in another college in a matter of 48 hours. So many questions that are being raised, particularly as far as handing over of the body is concerned, and why was no FIR that was lodged, no FIR that was registered. It took them 3 hours after the body was handed over to the family for the cremation that an FIR was finally registered. Why was it that the principal of the college did not file that FIR in the case? So many questions that are being raised as far as the CBI is concerned. A deadline now has been given of 48 hours. So by Thursday, today is Tuesday, the CBI has to file a status report. And also a national task force will now be set up, and that national task force will consist of doctors that will set out the modalities as far as the safety of doctors is concerned in the country. So the state must ensure that action is also taken against those vandals who entered the hospital where the crime that took place during that protest march, which was being held by women on the eve of Independence Day. So questions being raised as to how did those vandals manage to get inside the hospital, and that action needs to be taken. So that CBI has now been asked to, file that status report, and that's expected in a matter of 48 hours. From what, the Chief Justice of India has gone on to say, questioning the timing. Why did it take 3 hours to file that FIR regarding this particular case, which the CGI has said that there are allegations that are being made in regard to the situation being passed off as a suicide. Also, in regard to the identity of the victim, questioning as to why was the identity made known to media, why were there pictures circulating, why was her name taken in the media. So, all these questions that are being raised as far as the Chief Justice is concerned, and this is what is being said in a Supreme Court, talking about the lack of institutional safety. That is the big concern. We have my colleague Sunil Prabhu joining us on the phone line to get us more on this. Sunil, just take us through what's really taken place in the Supreme Court today. Take us through the questions that are being raised, the concerns regarding this particular matter, and the changes that they are suggesting.
Well, this is a case regarding a suo motu taking up of the RG Gar rape and murder case, and it's in that backdrop that the Chief Justice of India has now constituted a national task force. It will have members, doctors who will be there, and also assisted by the Cabinet Secretary, the Secretary of the Ministry of Home Affairs, as well as the Health Secretary, to issue guidelines to ensure that there is safe, separate duty rooms for men and women, and to really ensure that there is a national standard protocol for our medical staff across the country, to see that there are CCTVs and a whole host of steps to ensure that, preventing violence. And it's in that backdrop that the Chief Justice of India has given his order on this issue. Of course, as we speak, they are conferring amongst themselves on a document that has been supplied by the Chief Justice of India, by Mr. Kapil Sibal on behalf of the West Bengal government. There has been a political turn to it, with the Solicitor General asking the Director General of Police to step down. So we'll have to wait and see how things proceed. At present, the Chief Justice is continuing to have discussions with the bench on this entire matter.
So, Sunil, of course, what has really been said in court, in the Supreme Court today, is that the systematic issues regarding the safety of doctors across India, the bench that's been headed by the Chief Justice of India. Let's just listen in to the proceedings.
Yes. Yeah, we've seen.
West?
Huh?
Give a soft copy.
You hand over the compilation to us. Hand over the compilation.
Yes,
No, you don't have it on your.
give us.
We're locating the soft copy.
Whatever we have received, we'll file with our report.
What is that? What is that? Compilation.
List of deeds.
This was the petition.
Report, Malaj. Do you have a soft copy? If you can give it. Let's see if you have a soft copy.
Hard copy we have.
Here it is.
This is the inquest report.
This is the inquest report. This is it, Malaj.
Right, so the proceedings are going on in court, and the Chief Justice of India there heading that bench, talking about how it's deeply concerning as far as the absence of safe working conditions for young doctors is concerned, especially for women. If women are not able to go to work and conditions are not safe, we are denying them equality, is what is being said in court. It's also deeply concerning that the fact that the name of the victim has been all over media and the photographs and the videos were all over the media. This is extremely concerning, is what is being said. And most young doctors putting in 36 hours, we must evolve national protocol to ensure safe working conditions. You know, the questions that are being asked in the court is, what is the principal doing? Why was the FIR not filed? Why was the body handed so late to the parents? What is the police doing? A serious offence has taken place and the crime scene is in a hospital. What is being done? Allowing vandals to enter the hospital. Those are the questions that have been raised by the Chief Justice of India. We have Aishwarya joining us to get us more on this. Aishwarya, our national task force is going to be set up consisting of doctors. Many other changes are being asked, whether it's CCTV camera, whether it's lighting, and also especially drop packs for staffers. That is something that is now going to be the norm.
Well, certainly very, very important observations being made by the Supreme Court of India on the suo motu that the Chief Justice of India had taken regarding the RG Kar alleged rape and murder case. Of course, several questions being asked as far as the roles assigned to the principal is concerned, why there was delay in the FIR, what were the hospital authorities doing, what was the role of principal, peaceful protesters not to be harmed over the entire incident. Remember, there were several protests which are doing rounds across the country. What was the role of the state? How the pictures were released at first, and how the hospital authorities have stated that that was a suicide and not a murder in a first term. Why was there a gap between post-mortem and the FIR? So these are several important oral observations that the Supreme Court of India had made while taking a suo motu. In fact, there were several orders which were also passed meanwhile regarding the entire proceedings which are taking place in the Supreme Court. It was stated by the Supreme Court that the Indian Medical Association nationwide withdrawal of services should be should stop, and the doctors should resume their work as well. It is just not protecting doctors, but also what the government is doing as far as the central protection is concerned for the doctors. Is there any special and non-exhaustive formulations as well, in the hospital premises, particularly the Supreme Court of India and the CGI particularly had asked that whether there are waiting rooms for the doctors, how's the sanitization of the doctors inside the hospitals, is there no separate duty rooms for men and women, 36-hour shift where basic basic rules follows in that context or not. No national standard protocol has been followed. There has been lack of CCTV cameras inside the hospitals across the country. There are a lot of attendants which have access to the doctor's area. The family members of the patients usually arrive in large numbers at the hospitals that create chaos inside the hospital. So, the norm should be maintained. Therefore, the reason perhaps national consensus is necessary. The Supreme Court of India also stated that the National Task Force, which will include the medical members and ex-officio members, will be inside that, will be constituted with the National Task Force. And apart from it, it would be also the Supreme Court of India who stated that the CBI will give the status report on 22nd of August as to what investigation has taken place. Remember, the entire case has been handed over to the Central Bureau of Investigation, and the case diary has also been handed over to them, and they are questioning and investigating into what led to the delay in the post-mortem, whether the questions that were raised, that whether this was a gang rape or more people were involved. Pertaining to that as well, the CBI had to file that status report. West Bengal government to also file status report on vandalism that has taken place in the last few days. But importantly, it was also stated as far as the hospital premises are concerned, the CGI had given an oral observation as far as the security of professional of the doctors professionals are concerned. That should be adequate in numbers, and the Supreme Court also stated that there should be workshops on handling grief and crisis. There should be transport facilities which should be given to the female doctors, especially who are doing overnight duties as well, and also there should be adequate security. There should be baggage evening, lunch, canteen. Each and every part had been thoroughly mentioned in these observations as far as the work culture of doctors inside the hospital are concerned. Remember, this hearing which is currently underway in the Supreme Court is being video streamed at different hospitals across the country where doctors are protesting. Big screens had been placed, and therefore the reason all eyes are on the CGI and the Supreme Court of India. They have stated that they will pass an order, an interim order today only, and had requested the doctors to go back and resume their work in the hospitals. But very important hearing currently underway in the Supreme Court.
Right, urging doctors to resume work, Aishwarya, but also at the same time highlighting the challenges that are being faced by the medical fraternity across the country. And to get more on this, we have with us Saurabh Gupta and Sunil Prabhu joining us. Saurabh, over to you. The West Bengal government was expected to maintain law and order. That is what has been said in court today. And, in order to also what is being said is that they needed to protect the crime scene, but they haven't been able to do so. And that is the question that is being raised by the Supreme Court regarding the government of West Bengal.
Well, yes, there's a little bit of a technical difference here. One is, of course, the crime scene, which is on the 3rd floor, which is intact. But, of course, the police were completely unable to control the mob and protect the building in which the crime took place. The emergency ward was completely demolished, vandalized by a mob. But very, very strong questions for the West Bengal government. And this is one question that we've been raising from day one. One is, of course, concerning the principal. What was the tearing rush to reinstate this man as principal of another medical college when clearly there's been such a huge incident? And of course, he's moved aside or he's resigned or whatever, if he did not resign. But what was a tearing hurry to reinstate him as the principal of another medical college? This move of the state government, clearly inexplicable.
Just hold that thought. We also have with us Sunil Prabhu, who's joining us from right outside the Supreme Court. Sunil, the court has gone on to say that the nation cannot wait for another rape for things to change on the ground. What are the changes that are now going to be implemented?
Well, as we've been reporting, a national task force has been constituted. So please take that as it's been done. They will have to submit a report. They will have to look at the various findings of the High Court from the various, hospitals, the number of people that are there. Basically, I think the Chief Justice of India is setting the stage for what he says safety protocols for health workers, be it doctors, be it nursing staff, men and women, gender neutral. Those provisions will be made. CCTVs will be made. Workshops will be taken, basically to ensure a sensitization of the entire country towards our health workers. More importantly, to ensure, and he's making that message loud and clear, that there's safe places. It's just not RG Kar. There have been other incidents which he has mentioned that have taken place where there's been brutality shown on the medical doctors, be it in Hyderabad and various other instances that he has shown. And it's on that basis that they have taken it. That's one aspect which the Chief Justice of India and his bench have made it clear. That's an order which will be waiting to be implemented. The Cabinet Secretary, as well as the Health Secretary and the Home Secretary, will have to assist this committee and give its report. The CBI, on the other part, will give its status report on Thursday, when the Chief Justice of India will take and hear this matter once again. At present, there is a to and fro between the state of West Bengal, led by Mr. Kapil Sibal, who's representing it, as well as the Solicitor General, who is on behalf of the CBI. One, of course, the Solicitor General making, and of course, as you saw, the Chief Justice of India, as well as Justice Padiwal, asking some searching and important questions against the West Bengal government for the manner in which and the ham-handedness in which they have managed this entire affair. It's in that context that they've asked serious questions and they're looking for answers. The state of West Bengal has submitted an entire report to the Chief Justice of India. They're perusing it. The Solicitor General has said that the West Bengal DGP
who's also allegedly involved in the Sharda scam, should step down, to which the West Bengal government has countered, saying don't make it political at this stage. And it's in that backdrop that we are seeing incidents take place and how evolve. So it's definitely interesting times at the Chief Justice of India continues. It's been now nearly 1.5 hours, and they continue to see how things are proceeding. And definitely, we'll wait to see what the Chief Justice of India, as well as his bench, after perusing the West Bengal submission, what they decide. There was a demand by the CBI to get the records. No less than the West Bengal government councils saying that the entire case file, the inquest, all have been sent and have been submitted to the Chief Justice of India.
Right, Sunil, some of the questions that were being asked regarding the FIR, why was that not filed in time? Why did it take 3 hours after the body was handed over for the cremation? Also in regard to the police's handling of the case. Let's just first listen into what's happening in court at the moment.
What had happened was that he, along with one Mr. Bhatta, very interesting, was talking up.
Whenever your lordship finds CBI...
Malord, I just see 10 seconds. Saurabh Bhattacharya, he was... let me just explain. What... Yeah, it's a case diary. You have it all.
Only 10 seconds, my lord.
Just allow me.
Lord.
What had happened?
Same comprehensive issue, which your lordships are perfectly framed. This deliberation and this exercise took place between 2016 to 2018 for preparing some protocol and some law. My lord, it resulted into framing of a legislation in 2019. Draft legislation is with me, with the central government forming a committee with IMA and other stakeholders. They gave a report. Report resulted into a draft legislation on violence against, my lord, medical practitioners and medical establishment. It is pending. IMA, my lord, represents the entire community of doctors. So if your lordships consider it appropriate, they can contribute in the participation of the committee, my lord.
Mahendra Singh, we have already said that they will consult all stakeholders.
Correct.
And we have specifically referred to IMA.
May I just add, my lord, that this particular exercise, to whatever it's worth, my lord, is there. And if your lordship could consider, my lord, they can also two nominees to work with them. That's all. I'm not saying anything more.
You can write to the Secretary Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, so the committee will consult IMA. We have in fact referred to the role of IMA.
My lord, in addition to what Mr. Mahendra Singh has said, can I just add, my lord? My lords have said, my lord, there are 3 legislations. We have tabulated, my lord.
No, we have not said 3.
3 or 23 legislations. I'm sorry.
We have said several states, including.
My lord, we have tabulated 23, but none of them has preventive measures. My lord, there is 2 more.
That's not inconsistent with what we have said.
No,
we have said several states, including.
My lord, only two more suggestions, my lord, if your lordship consider it appropriate to include, my lord. One is institutional FIR, my lord, must be lodged within the 2 hours of a cognizable offence happening within the incident. One, my lord. Second, my lord, if your lordship kindly permit me, a distress call system, my lord, may be available.
We have already referred to that.
It is to the women.
Specifically referred to it.
My lord is already ready.
Can I just...
Your lordship, we are for the women doctors, young doctors, your lordship. What we request, your lordship, if we can have a software mechanism system where a distress call alert can be linkaged with the police station.
This can be suggestions for the
and
task
secondly,
force.
your lordship, if we can have a proper functioning of CCTV cameras inside.
We have done this.
Right. In fact, we have flagged these very issues.
Yes. We've done a mobile app. We've done a...
The protesters need to be protected. Your lordship's order.
This 1 second. 1 second. You haven't filed a PIL this time? Every week from you. A list on 22. We expect that the government of West Bengal shall observe necessary restraint in the face of peaceful protests conducted by any quarter of civil society bearing on the issues which form the subject matter of the incident which took place in Kolkata. To stop. The necessary, it shall be ensured that the power of the state is not unleashed either against persons using legitimate means to express their opinions or to participate.
Yes, no doubt, Malad. Except that
the doctors' protest must be banned, my lord. They leave the OTP and all treatment and they get the...
since this court is seized of the matter pertaining to the safety and well-being of all medical professionals at their workplaces as an issue involving high national priority, we would request all the doctors who are abstaining from work across the country to resume work at the earliest.
Lordships, may I come in with your lordships? Please, Your
The earliest will stop. Above all, the abstention from work of doctors affects those segments of society who need medical care, medical care the most from accessing health-related services. Will stop. The abstaining doctors and medical professionals stand assured that their concerns are receiving the highest concern from the Supreme Court of India. But besides, their concerns are already being portrayed before this court by a diverse range of counsel on both sides.
Deeply obliged.
I'm talking about the women doctors of the place where the incident has happened. Now, Lordships, it's very important. I'm sorry for Lordships insisting over and over again, but Lordships, I think it's of some importance in the matter. So, Lordships, the day on 14th August night, the day the attack took place on the doctors, when the protesters were on the site, the same hoodlums, they went to the hostel. They actually threatened the lady resident doctors. And they were threatened with the kind of threat that's given to women every time they protest. Lordships, very harsh things and they were threatened with very harsh consequences. Now, Lordships, now the women doctors, subject to, this is what I've been instructed by an association of doctors in West Bengal, and they are in touch with the resident doctors. They said that the women's hostel, most of the women, they've been called back by their parents because they're not feeling safe. So your Lordships, when your Lordships say they should join this, and because on that very date, the police, the state police, they ran away from the scene. Lordships, it's widely reported. I don't need to emphasize. Just
Life in
let me
West
complete.
Bengal.
Lordship, this is
I'm
very
not
sensitive
making it
information.
political. It's my lord.
He's appearing for the doctors. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Lordship. So what happened is So what happened, the police just left them and the police hid in the changing room of the nurses. This is what the doctors told me, Lordship. Now, if I don't want to be caught between the political battle of these two sides. Now,
There is no political battle.
Let me just explain. So what I'm just for the students and the doctors practicing, the Association of Doctors. In fact, one doctor, a very brave doctor, I don't want to take the gender. So it gave a representation to the police. So a lot of people have given a representation of the police. They have asked me to forward it to your Lordships in sealed envelope. I have 3 copies of the representation. Lordships may just have a look to see what is the position of the doctors there.
My lord, I can make it clear, my lord, we do not make this political, but we also receive, my lord, complaints. This is the hard reality on ground. Our learned friend is not keeping mum for no reason.
What is all this going on? I'm not keeping mum for no reason.
Therefore, he's not sharing anything with the CBI.
We've given the entire case diary. What more do you want?
Right, and to get more on this, we have our senior advocate joining us on the broadcast. Ma'am, thank you for speaking to us on NDTV. We'll just come back to you, ma'am, as the proceedings have begun in the Supreme Court. They've resumed. Let's just listen in.
How many doctors, intern doctors are there in the hostel today?
Lordships, I am told.
How many were actually?
I am told 90% of the women doctors are not there.
In numbers, how many
were there in the hospital?
Were there and how many have left now?
Lordships, I'll just take the information
Ask
right
someone
now. Just
who knows about it.
Mr. Sibal, this is very serious.
Very serious, of course.
Because
No doubt about it.
What was the police? What is the police?
No, I agree, my lord. So
Tip of an iceberg, my lord. I don't wish to.
that is
enter
why
into it.
FIRs have been registered. We'll take strong action. Photo, we have got from the CCTVs, photos have been,
Service
one thing.
years.
From the CCTVs, photos have been identified and we have lodged FIRs, my lords, and we are taking, those people have been arrested. 37 people have been arrested.
But Mr. Sibal, arrest is another thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, there were protests of the doctors.
Yes, of course.
This was part of the wider protests which were going on that night.
Absolutely.
It was called Reclaim the Night.
Yes.
The West Bengal government could not have been unaware of the fact that when there are protests across the country, there's always another segment which will try and disrupt this.
What?
The women the women doctors are assaulted. The police run away from the scene. Thereafter, the women doctors are called out by name, namely the people who are leading the protest, and they were threatened with the same fate that has befallen the others.
Well, if they tell us, we'll take strong action. Well, I agree. I'm not disputing.
You are supposed to be
Well,
aware.
hold on. My lord Chief Justice is asking me, and let me respond.
What was the police?
What does that
What
tell
was
you?
the police force doing in anticipation?
What happened was there were 150. There were 100. Hold on. Allow me. Mr. Sitter,
Please don't interrupt, Mr. Sitter. You're putting a point to him.
And as I said, Malaz, we are on the same side in this, Malaz. Now, there were 150 policemen. Malaz, what happened was that outside the hospital itself, 150, in anticipation, 150 policemen. But Malaz, what happened was 7,000 people came. By the time we got additional force, which came later, this vandalism took place. This is what happened.
You 7,000.
We picked them up. We picked them up from there, Malaz.
It doesn't appear that 7,000 people vandalized the place.
No, they didn't. I didn't say that. Because by the time
80 to 90 people maximum. They indulged in vandalism.
we have the video. We'll show it. There's no issue on that.
And
Facts can't be, Malaz, distorted.
did the police run away from the site?
No, that can't be, Malaz. We'll find out. How can the police run away?
Police not
No
knowing
police run away, Malaz. These allegations, if you take them, Malaz, as face value, then we have a problem. We have a video. I'll show it to you, Your Honor.
We don't want
Can we show you the video?
We have to send them for
We
vandalism.
don't want to disclose the name or even the designation of the person who has written it. But please rest assured that this is not an ordinary complaint which has been
No, I agree,
which has
Malaz.
been submitted.
Malaz, see the video. We'll show.
No,
we can-
please
we
do
can
not
upload it.
disclose. He or she will meet with the
upload it.
same fate.
Police calls the protesting doctors, threatening them.
Just see, Malaz. We've got the video. It's pen drive also. We can give it to you. There's a pen drive. We can give you the pen drive.
Mr. Sibal, this email was sent on 19th of August by this particular doctor to the
Just give it.
ID of the Kolkata police
Lordships, it's been sent
at 22 hours.
Yesterday, Malaz.
But tell us one thing, what is the police doing?
Malaz, it was sent yesterday. We are taking action. We have taken action. See
How
the
do you
video,
know
Malaz.
which
Just see the
doctor,
video.
which mail, how do you know that it is yesterday?
Malaz, see the video, Malaz. It's better. 150 police officers were camping outside. Kindly see the video, Malaz.
Sir, Mr. Sibal,
Malaz, I'm not here to defend anybody. Please make it rest assured, Malaz.
look at it from a different angle.
Yes.
You made a fervent appeal to these doctors.
Yes.
Please join your duty.
Correct.
The marginalized section of the society is suffering.
Absolutely.
They can't afford to go to.
I agree entirely.
Now, these doctors, the lady doctors who are in the hostel, even if we ask the government to provide them with police protection, this police is going to protect.
No, Malaz, we'll make sure.
That is our grievance.
So at the RG Kar Medical College and Hospital, because obviously the women doctors have left for the reason that they are fearful of their safety. If the premises of this hospital have to be safeguarded for these doctors to resume duty, who is going to provide security at the premises?
Malaz, we give an undertaking to this court.
CISF security.
We'll give an undertaking to this court. We'll give an
Let it
undertaking.
be CISF.
What we suggest is this, because if conditions return to normal,
We'll put additional,
if conditions return to normal at this hospital,
yes.
and doctors start coming back, this will have an impact on the rest of the.
Of course,
country.
of course.
Therefore, why does we propose that let the CISF provide security at
Yes.
the premises of this hospital?
And my lord, one more thing.
I have no problems with that.
My lord, one more thing.
Idea is that
Now
their
that-
security is paramount. So please, if your lordship
My
wants.
lord, now one more, my lord, I am inviting this order.
And these are the proceedings going on in the Supreme Court in order to maintain as far as the law and order situation is concerned, and also to get the workforce as far as doctors are concerned back into the fold is what is being urged by that bench of lawyers there, the bench of judges there, asking for doctors to resume work while trying to ensure safety and security measures are now going to be put in place. And we have with us Abha Singh, the lawyer joining us, as well as Khushbu Jain, advocate of the Supreme Court, joining us. Abha Singh, ma'am, over to you first. Let's just talk about the kind of suggestions that are being made, whether it's in regard to the lighting being improved, CCTV camera footage that should be increased as far as the exit and entry points are concerned, and other such measures. Are these measures really enough, or don't we need stricter rules and punishment to come into play so that women start to feel more safe when it comes to...
Also, that Sexual Harassment at Workplace Act also says that workplace should be safe. And I was listening to how the Supreme Court was handling the matter, and it is shocking that 70-80 people were the hooligans who vandalized the protest, who broke the hospital. And when the Supreme Court is requesting the lady doctors that please go back and join because there are patients who are suffering, I think if adequate security is provided, the doctors can go and help the OPD patients, because ultimately it's a very noble profession and it believes in taking care of the sick. But before that, security has to be put in place. Supreme Court has rightly said that CCTV cameras, and there should be everywhere, and also there should be security guards adequate. And number 3 is that no unknown person should be allowed to enter. And something which I find even very good is that patients should be there. Even the family of patients, till one point, should be allowed. But in that case, if there are female patients, then there has to be adequate women security to take care, because on and off we keep hearing sexual violation of in-house female patients or whatever. So these things also need to be looked into.
Right, drop-back facilities from 10 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning. Khushbu Jain also with us. What has really been said in court today is that the nation cannot wait for another rape for things to change on the ground. Ma'am, what do you think it will take what kind of changes need to be brought about in order to ensure safety and security of women in the country?
See, if you look into the same aspect, what Supreme Court is asking is they'll let there be a committee, and let that committee submit its report and have a foolproof plan. And that plan should be having an aspects of the sub-subjects such as, is there any need for additional security in the emergency room areas, baggage screening when required when it comes to any kind of weapon enter into the premises. If a person is not a patient, then should not be allowed beyond a certain limit. Security control when it comes to crowd. More CCTV cameras, the coverage of CCTV cameras at all places. There has been seen that lightning are very bad when it comes to CCTV cameras. So despite having a CCTV camera, the capture is not being done properly. So proper lighting in all areas, proper CCTV cameras in all places, public places, transport facility for women. It has been also been said that when you look at gender violence, it in a way shows that safety for women in the work system is bad. And when you talk about there is no safety over there, the women are not being able to go to work, and the work conditions are not safe for women, that in a way you're denying them equality. So all this while when we talk about equality, that men and women are equal, and we have constitution which enshrines the right to equality as one of the fundamental right, but these kind of scenarios make it a space where women do not feel safe or do not get into workspace, is where you're denying them equality, the foremost fundamental right of yours. There are more aspects which need to be covered upon as use of the technology over here, that you need to have more technology, biometric access.
Khushbu Jain, just hold that thought. Let's just listen into what's really happening in the Supreme Court as the proceedings have resumed.
To bring security to the
then they'll be responsible. I'm sorry to say, they'll be responsible, because there are two kinds of forces can't be there,
with the provision of central security.
Is it an information or a threat?
We hope and trust that the doctors will resume duties at the earliest. Full stop. Any concerns which they may have in regard to their safety may be placed in the form of an email jointly addressed by the doctors to the Registrar Judicial of this court for further necessary directions.
Lord, I have one submission to make. Lord, CBI is not now inquiring about the activities of the principal. On the wake of it, the state government.
We'll share this email with the solicitor. This email, please, and keep it in because we don't
It would be kept in
we don't want
confidence,
the
my lord.
doctor to be targeted.
No, otherwise but now state of course knows, the state police would know because they have received, but I will keep it safe. my lord.
The state has constituted a seat. But the
cover में डाल दो, sir.
which is a requirement of CBI.
No, Lordships, we have assured the doctor, sorry.
To create conflict.
Yes, here's the matter that we'll deal with on.
We've assured the doctor
Mr.
that the name
Solicitor,
will
please
not.
look at
that
the
is-
solicitor. Please look at the designation of that person who has submitted. Just look at the designation of the.
I will. Right now, I'm not, my lord, seeing that.
Yes,
Take it up on Thursday morning now.
no problem.
Public to file and sealed cover, whatever we have.
All the petitions will do that on Thursday. If there's some concern, please come back to us.
Lordships.
We'll assure the doctors all over the country that whatever concern they have, please place it before us to
We are most grateful.
counsel by here.
Your
We'll assuage your grievances the extent that we can. I'm sure this is a complete non-adversarial procedure.
Absolutely non-adversarial. We are grateful your lordships have taken.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate, let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. बनेगा
The Supreme Court is hearing the Kolkata rape and murder case, and what is really being said is a lack of security personnel at hospitals more of a norm than an exception. Medical care professionals do not have adequate toilet facilities. Medical professionals doing night duties are not given adequate rooms to rest. They just don't have any separate duty rooms when it comes to women and men, and places of stay for medical professionals are situated far from the hospital, and transportation facilities are not adequate. So a lot of changes are now going to be made. We will keep tracking that story and getting you the very latest. For now, we're slipping into a short break.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate, let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some
After Kolkata horror, Supreme Court highlights systemic failure in hospitals. Supreme Court also grills the Bengal government on delayed FIR, asks why did the hospital not file an FIR promptly. Supreme Court also points out why the government failed to secure the crime scene at RG Hospital. In fact, also says that the power of Bengal government shouldn't be unleashed on protesters. Supreme Court takes up the Kolkata rape and murder case, says can't wait for another rape to change ground reality. Sets up a national task force on hospital safety. Task force to focus on upgrading safety at hospitals for doctors and nurses. Kerala film industry's dirty truth exposed. Panel's report exposes exploitation of women actors. The panel also, in its report, highlights that casting couch is a troubling reality. Right, our top story, of course, coming in from the Supreme Court, which has taken up the matter of the Kolkata rape and murder case, and a number of important highlights have come out from the Supreme Court hearing today. If I can just begin by saying that the Supreme Court actually has set up a national task force in order to look after hospital safety, in order to upgrade hospital safety. While hearing the case, the Supreme Court in fact said that they can't wait for another rape to take place in order to change the ground reality. In fact, those pointers, highlights of the Supreme Court, what it said is flashing on your screens right now, where the CJI also mentioned that doctor safety is a matter of national interest and that there's been a systemic failure in hospitals across the country. So, the Supreme Court has set up this national task force, which consists of eminent doctors. At the same time, commenting on the investigations which are currently taking place, the Supreme Court has also asked the CBI to file a status report by Thursday. And at the same time, of course, very importantly, the Supreme Court has grilled the Bengal government, asking multiple questions on why the FIR was not filed promptly by the hospital authorities. Why was there so much time taken in order to file the FIRs, file the cases, as well as commenting on the fact that the Bengal government failed to protect the crime scene, pointing out the vandalism, the incident of vandalism which took place on the intervening night of August 14th and 15th at the RG Hospital. Let's first listen into some of the top comments by the Chief Justice of India while hearing this case. So the Chief Justice of India there, of course, pointing out multiple factors related to this case, highlighting how there seems to be a major crisis of safety as far as hospitals are concerned, as far as doctors and nurses' safety at hospitals is concerned, and that there's been a systemic failure in hospitals across the country, and also mentioning that this issue is not just limited to Kolkata, but how medical professionals are vulnerable to violence inside hospitals, and that women at particular are in risk of sexual violence. While hearing the case, the Supreme Court also commented on the fact that the Bengal government seems to have been wanting in terms of the fact that there was a delay in filing the FIR, as has been alleged by the victim's family. Right, so what you can see is, of course, there are doctors, protesting doctors in Kolkata, who are also watching the proceedings at the Supreme Court. On your screens there, while we are flashing the important highlights from the Supreme Court, you can see those doctors there in Kolkata who are protesting at RG Kar Hospital, also viewing the live proceedings from the Supreme Court. A very important hearing there taking place at the top court. If I can also point out some of the aspects which the Supreme Court has said that the National Task Force, which it has set up, is going to look into several things that were highlighted by the Supreme Court, especially with regard to CCTV at exit and entry points, with regard to the fact that there should be restriction or the access at certain points of the hospital should in fact be restricted. Also, let's talk about what the Supreme Court in fact commented on the Bengal government. As I mentioned, the Supreme Court asked the Bengal government why was it that nobody in the hospital registered an FIR promptly, and why was there a delay in FIR, and that the power of the state should not be unleashed on protesters. That there are people, doctors who are peacefully protesting. Why is it that the Bengal government is focusing on curbing that? And also, the Supreme Court said that it's unable to comprehend why the state could not protect the crime scene, referring to the incident of vandalism which took place at that particular night of, intervening night of August 14th and 15th at the RG Kar Hospital. Let me go across to my colleague Saurabh, who is joining us for at the moment. Saurabh, we have seen that several important observations have come out from the Supreme Court. Of course, the order on setting up the National Task Force for Safety when it comes to hospital security. But also, if I can just begin by asking you about all the important aspects raised by the Supreme Court as far as the way accountability of the Bengal government is concerned and the manner in which the Kolkata police and the Bengal government handled this case. Some of these allegations have been reported by us as well, but take us through some of the highlights which have come in from the Supreme Court on that aspect of what the top court asked of the Bengal government.
Well, you know, there are a couple of very key observations or key questions that the Supreme Court asked, and one is regarding the responsibility of the hospital authorities. Why didn't they register a complaint? You know, what took them so long? The incident took place early in the morning. You know, the parents arrived, post-mortem, all of that got done. Procedurally, what was to be done? But the FIR was registered late at night. So the Supreme Court was keen to understand why this delay. What transpired in these, 12, 13 hours that it took almost 11 in the night. And this is something that now we are, of course, have been asking. In fact, this came up in the Calcutta High Court as well. The police say they registered a nude case in the absence of a complaint, carried out the investigation. But again, the question is that, the not registering the FIR immediately is something that has been used also to raise suspicion, and that is something that has happened. So obviously the Supreme Court has asked some very valid questions and also about the role of the principal, and that is something that clearly, again, it came up in the Calcutta High Court as well. I think I also heard something about the CISF now defending RG Kar. Just one technical issue, that is, of course, the crime scene is intact, the hospital was vandalized, but back to you for more that's, coming in at this point.
Right. Saurabh, we will come back for more on this important story, but there's some breaking update coming in from Thane next to Mumbai, where the parents of school children have in fact been staging a massive protest. And these are live pictures which we are getting to you from Thane, where the protesters have decided to block a railway station and are pelting stones. Remember, so what happened in Thane? There were 2 4-year-old girls who were molested, who were sexually assaulted inside their school in Thane, which is close to Mumbai, as I mentioned. It was a 23-year-old staffer who was working at the school who has been arrested by the police for the sexual assault on those young girls. The police have in fact arrested the predator, but there's also questions being raised on whether there was delayed action by the police. Of course, the negligence of the school authorities is also under lens. So since morning today, we have in fact been seeing parents staging a massive protest close to the school as well. And right now we can see the protesters are blocking a railway track and pelting stones. So the protests there have of course escalated there at Thane, and questions being raised not just on the school authorities but also on the police. The Maharashtra State Women's Commission has in fact taken cognizance of the matter and has sought a police report, an action taken report from the police, since there are also allegations of delayed action by the police there. So two young girls, two 4-year-old girls, two 4-year-old school children have in fact been assaulted inside a school, while we have in fact here on NDTV we have been running a campaign of Safeguard Our Daughters, and how we are pointing out how there has to be safety for women, not just in public spaces but at their homes as well. But what we can see is, while we have been following the Kolkata doctor's rape and murder case, but this shocking incident coming in from Thane next to Mumbai, where schoolgirls, very young children who have in fact been molested inside their own school by a school staffer. Shocking incident there, and the parents' anger has spilled out on the streets today, where you can see a massive protest which has been staged since morning in Thane, in Badlapur area of Thane, where now the protesters have in fact escalated their protest and are sitting on railway tracks, blocking the tracks and also pelting stones. Right, so here on NDTV, we have been running a campaign of safeguarding our daughters, and this is the latest case that we are reporting on the school horror, the horrific incident taking place in Thane, where two young children, 4-year-old girls, have in fact been sexually assaulted. They have been molested by a school staffer. Lots of questions being raised as to whether or not there was adequate security at the school. The CCTVs which were placed inside the school were found to be defunct. That's also another angle that the police are looking at, that the parents have in fact highlighted. And at the same time, questions are being raised on whether or not there was a delay in filing the FIR. Let me go across to my colleague Radhika for more on this. Radhika, this is anger spilling out on the streets. At the moment, we can see that a railway track has in fact been blocked by the protesters. But take our viewers through why have the parents become so angry. The staffer in the school has been arrested. Of course, it's a shocking case, but there are questions being raised on the school authorities' role, as well as whether there was any delay in action taken by the police there.
That's right. As far as this entire case is concerned, parents allege that there have been negligence on the part of the school authorities. There had been also delay in registration of FIR is something they have said. The incident happening last week, but it took a couple of days for the police to file the FIR is something that the parents have alleged. Of course, FIR registered, the person has been arrested, the accused, the predator has been arrested. Now, of course, the Chief Minister's office also sending out a message asking parents to not, resort to violent protests, and have assured them of all the action, including the accused to be tried in a fast-track court, and also have assured that action will be taken against the management of the school if they've been found negligence. Parents have alleged that there are multiple loopholes as far as the school is concerned in terms of safety and security. No CCTV cameras were functional in the school, and that there had not been any female attendants in the school either. This is a male attendant, a male cleaner, who allegedly committed this crime in the toilet of the school two 4-year-old children were allegedly sexually assaulted by this cleaner. No CCTV cameras installed or rather functional in the school, and no female attendees in the school either. It was this male cleaner who had in fact escorted these children to the toilet, which itself is disturbing. So therefore, parents also seeking accountability from the school management. Remember, the school, neither the school principal or the teachers or anybody within the administration have come out, explaining their stand on the entire situation. They had in fact they have not come out at the moment. So yes, at this point, of course, our school authorities have much to answer, which is why now the parents have taken to the streets. They have taken to the tracks of these the railway stations as well as outside the school premises, and also on the roads of Badlapur in Thane, seeking answers, seeking accountability from the school management. They feel that the school have not taken responsibility of the incident. They have not assured of any strict action and have neither apologized as far as this entire incident is concerned. So at this point, the parents are angry. They are demanding answers and at the same time wanting strictest punishment for the accused. They're also not happy with the action taken by the police so far. Although the FIR was registered and this man has been arrested, the fact remains that FIR was registered only a couple of days after the incident. Of course, the incident coming to fore after these two children described what happened to their parents. They said they were in pain, after which, of course, they were taken to the hospital and the medical examination confirming that they were sexually assaulted. Very disturbing incident, of course, that has led to protest, violent protest here, but Chief Minister's office assuring of strictest action as far as the accused is concerned, and also saying that probe will be done to understand the role of the school and the management, and action will be taken against the management if they've been found negligent.
Right. Radhika, as you are mentioning that the Chief Minister has also reacted, saying that the accused will be tried in a fast-track court. But at the moment, what we can see on the streets of Thane as well as at the railway station there in Badlapur area of Thane, where the parents are adamant that they want answers and they have blocked that railway station track there, seeking answers from authorities, both the hospital as well as the police there. Radhika, there's also an aspect coming in of delayed action by the police. So what are the allegations related to that? Radhika, if you can hear me.
But yes, I can hear you.
Yes, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, as far as the allegations by parents are concerned, this incident happened, this alleged sexual assault incident in the school premises inside the toilet of the school happened on 12th and 13th of August. However, as per parents, the FIR was registered only on 15th of August. Despite repeated pleas before the police, in the beginning, in the initial stage, they were not ready to file an FIR. The teachers, or rather the administration of the school, were also not very forthcoming as far as the complaint is concerned. It was the parents who went ahead and filed a complaint before the police, and it took a couple of days for them to register the FIR. And of course, soon after the FIR was registered under sections of POCSO, the accused, the 23-year-old cleaner, has been arrested. However, parents upset over the fact that the complainants in the case were the parents and not the school administration, and the school administration have...
Action could be taken against that school.
So we heard that the police has not registered case around 12 hours.
Yeah, that was the mistake of a senior PI who was lady. Yeah. Unfortunately, a lady not taking complaint for 10 hours. It's a very serious thing. She is transferred. But at the same time, I will just now the Honorable Speaker, CM spoke to me, and he will also speak to Deputy CM to see that the lady is suspended immediately.
What response given by the CM when he heard about the incident? Because
he was very hurt and concerned, and he has told me that care of every child of Maharashtra is to be taken. That's why I have called the meeting of my entire department. Fortunately, I had called it, and by that time I got a call. So my entire department is sitting in the conference room here. Rest of the people who were not able to come are online. So we'll see that whatever initiatives we have taken previously are implemented rigorously.
सर हिंदी में जानना चाहिए विस्तार से बदलापुर की घटना काफी दर्दनाक
ये बहुत ही दर्दनाक घटना है. हमने इस पे एक्शन लिया है. पूरे डिपार्टमेंट की मीटिंग मैंने ली है. मेरे डिपार्टमेंट चार IAS ऑफिसर है, सब है, हमारे प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी यहाँ पे है. तो मुझे लगता है कि जो भी मेजर्स हमने लिए थे वो काफ़ी थे. 8 महीने पहले भी मैंने इसका रिव्यू लिया था, फिर भी इंसिडेंस हो गया क्योंकि वहाँ का CCTV बंद था. तो हम लोग आज एक सर्कुलर निकाल रहे हैं कि CCTV सिर्फ बिठाना काफ़ी नहीं, अगर बंद भी रहेगा तो आप पर एक्शन हो जाएगी. तो हम लोग बहुत सेंसिटिव है. विशाखा समिति हम लोग अपॉइंट कर रहे हैं, जैसे ऑफिस में विशाखा समिति होती है वैसे स्कूल में अपॉइंट कर रहे हैं. और 9वीं 10वीं कक्षा के जो हमारे स्टूडेंट्स है, जो लेडी स्टूडेंट है, उनको इसकी जो हमारे बच्चियां हैं उनको ही जिम्मेदारी दी जाएगी, क्योंकि बच्चे हेजिटेट करते हैं टीचर से बोलने में, और अपने जो सीनियर्स है उनसे वो इजीली बात करते. तो ये भी हम लोग एक कोशिश कर रहे हैं और फास्ट ट्रैक में इसको लेके जाएंगे, स्पेशल प्रोसिक्यूटर देंगे. इसको कड़ी से कड़ी सजा होनी चाहिए.
लेकिन सबसे बड़ा सवाल ये है कि आखिरकार 12 घंटे क्यों लगे, क्योंकि एक ऑफिसर.
Right, so that was Maharashtra Minister there, Deepak Kesarkar, essentially saying that that it is a very shocking incident. But Radhika, if I can come back to you, essentially the minister also making a point that there was delay in a way, or it took some time for the police to actually find evidence or crack the case in a, so to speak, because the CCTVs at the school were defunct. And he's also saying that he's going to take out a circular today asking all schools to ensure that the CCTVs are functioning. So very importantly there, the minister in a way also admitting that because of this lack or lapse on part of the school, there was some sort of a delay in the probe.
Certainly, that's what the CMO is also admitting, several within the government also admitting that there has been a lack of, proactiveness as far as the police is concerned. While the incident happened on 12th or 13th of August, it took a couple of days for the police to register the FIR. The school authorities did not come forward with the complaint. They have not taken any sort of responsibility or accountability as far as the negligence from their part is concerned. That is something that the government has admitted. Now, of course, a press statement also from the Chief Minister's office, in which it says that accused will be tried in fast-track court. Action will be taken against management of the institution if there is, if it is found that there has been a deliberate negligence from the part of the institute. Also saying that he has discussed, the Chief Minister has discussed this entire case with the Commissioner of Police in Thane, and concrete measures will be taken so that such incidents are prevented. Also suggesting setting up of complaint boxes and other systems to be brought in place so that if students have any doubts, they should immediately point out to the school administration. Also that management should immediately talk to teachers and take appropriate care. Yes, this is what the press release from the CMO says, that these are the actions they will take and this is what the school is expected to do. But this very, very tragic, disturbing incident unfolding in Thane, post which outraged parents have now taken to the streets. What we are seeing is violent protest that has taken place, leading to lathi charge as well. Parents extremely angry with what has transpired. 2 4-year-old children allegedly sexually assaulted by a staffer from a school. This incident happening inside the school premises in a toilet, which is very, very disturbing. All this coming post Kolkata incident, where once again it was a female doctor who was raped and murdered in her workplace. Something similar happening here, where 2 kids two toddlers being sexually assaulted in a school where they were studying at. So this is extremely serious and also puts a question mark on the school administration. Already parents have been saying that the school is not coming forward, not taking responsibility of what has happened. In fact, there had been not a single attended female staffer in the school at the time. They've not hired any female staffer. It was a male cleaning staffer who did this, who committed this crime. So therefore, a lot of questions being raised by, angry parents at this point. We'll have to wait and see what kind of statement the school administration will give out, but no accountability as such, from the school. However, the protest that we're seeing on our screens is only turning violent by the minute.
Right. Radhika, there reporting on this case coming in from Thane, a very gruesome and a very shocking case once again at a time when we are talking about women's safety, crime against women. In this case, of course, involving an incident involving 2 little children in Thane next to Mumbai. Radhika, there, we'll keep coming back to you for more. For the moment, we are going into another breaking news coming in, and that is on the lateral entry controversy. Now, there seems to be a government U-turn where the union minister has in fact written to the UPSC chief. Jitendra Singh has in fact written to UPSC asking for cancelling the lateral entry ad. Remember, this comes in just days after the UPSC had advertised 45 posts for lateral entry. And now there seems to be a government U-turn in that respect. Let me go across to my colleague Sunil for more on this. Sunil, what has exactly changed in the past 24 hours? Yesterday we saw the government, several ministers as well as government spokespersons, BJP spokespersons, who were defending this lateral entry scheme as well as the UPSC advertisement. So what's happened in the last 24 hours which has led to this?
Well, as you're well aware, the Prime Minister is the Cabinet Minister for the Department of Personnel and Training. He's, of course, assisted by the Minister of State, Mr. Jitendra Singh. And it's in that context that Mr. Jitendra Singh has written a letter to the UPSC chairperson, very categorically, it's a letter where he's citing various instances of lateral entry that have taken place. But the sum and substance for our viewers is that the Government of India has decided to request the UPSC to withdraw the advertisement of the lateral entry that it has put out because it does not follow social justice. And as they say, to use the words of Mr. Jitendra Singh very clearly, he says very categorically that the Prime Minister is of the firm belief that the process of lateral entry must be aligned with the principles of equity and social justice enshrined in our Constitution, particularly concerning the provisions of reservation. Having said that, now the Prime Minister, who is the minister in charge of this ministry, has decided to ask the UPSC to hold those appointments or the recruitment process for lateral entry, because what has been pointed out by the opposition, which is being seen as a big victory, cutting across party lines, including allies of the NDA, that lateral entry must follow the norms of social justice. That is, that there should be 15% for scheduled castes, 7.5% for scheduled tribe, for OBCs. They cannot be left out even if it is lateral entry. And it's in that context that the government will study, review this entire matter, and then take a call. So they've asked the UPSC chairperson to keep it on hold.
Right. Sunil, thank you so much. Stay with us. I'm also joined on the phone line by NDTV Senior Managing Editor Nikunj Garg. Nikunj, we can see that this is, yesterday the government and government spokespersons were defending the lateral entry scheme. Today they have in fact virtually done a U-turn. So this is yet another example of the BJP giving in to the pressure of coalition politics.
Well, Tanima, it's not so straightforward. I would say that keeping in mind the quantum of the appointments, remember it's 45 joint secretaries that we are talking. It's a very large number. And joint secretaries in the government of India are at the cutting edge level of governance. Principally, all the policy decisions are driven by the joint secretaries. Principally, the fact is that Principally, the fact is that, any new initiative, any policy decision, any kind of government initiative, the driver for that is the Joint Secretary's desk. Now, if you are going to have a situation where you're going to have nearly 4 dozen Joint Secretaries in various ministries, including some very sensitive ministries like Ministry of IT and Technology, sans any kind of reservation as alleged by the opposition, I am still not clear, and I am not going to take any position on that, but sans any reservation, then obviously it's going to become a big issue. Currently, in any case, caste census, reservation, and increasing the quotas under reservation is a very big political debate, and more often than not, BJP has been found on the back foot in this debate. And opposition has consistently taken a position and mounted on that position. Now, what has happened is that yesterday, government's own allies like LJP came out very categorically in support of the opposition demand and against the government's move of putting these posts under the lateral entry quota. Technically, the government can say that, there's an arm's length between the UPSC, which is the Union Public Service Commission, which is an independent body under the Constitution. Actually, it's a body predating Constitution. But under the Constitution, there is a proviso for the UPSC as well. And the government is different. However, what the larger rubric of the administrative structure will see it as UPSC acting only on the government's directions. So quite clearly, under the ally pressure and the pressure that has been mounted from the opposition, in which they have been fairly successful, many neutral observers would say, in trying to paint that BJP is somehow taking away, snatching quotas, or is wanting to decimate quotas, or is wanting to build quotas within quotas, which are not suitable to the existing classes. So that is the narrative that is a matter of worry for the BJP. And they have time and again, their own people have come on record and said in Maharashtra, in Uttar Pradesh, that opposition has been able to build that narrative successfully. And that is why we have lost political ground, and politically we have lost. Now, they do not obviously, like any political party or any governing political party, they do not wish to lose any more political ground than that. And since there is an ally pressure, and since there is a consistent narrative and position taken by the opposition, government has now decided to do away with this latest move of its, and at least for now, this has been put on hold, which would mean that it has been kept in abeyance. Now, whether in the future government will again go ahead with the lateral entry scheme and move on it, or it has been kept in abeyance for permanent, we don't know currently, or if it is only a tweak that they will bring in, or this entire scheme would completely be scrapped, and the usual method of employment of joint secretaries, which is through the central staffing scheme, and then the promotions from the director level to the joint secretary level will be the only method that will be followed by the government henceforth, is still not clear. But quite clearly, under pressure from allies and under pressure from the opposition, the government has certainly taken a step back in trying to put its house in order as far as anti-quota narrative sticking to BJP and the NDA-3 government, if you wish to call it an NDA-3 government, is concerned, Tanam.
Right. Nikunj, thank you so much for joining us. With that, I'm also joined by my colleague Vasudha for more on this, but we are also highlighting the portion of the letter there on your screen, which has been written by Jitendra Singh to the UPSC. If I can read out a certain portion where he says that under earlier governments, as Nikunj was also pointing out, that this is an important part in the letter, where Jitendra Singh says that under earlier governments, there have been posts given to lateral entrants without following any process of reservations. Further, it is well known that the members of the National Advisory Council used to run a super bureaucracy that controlled the Prime Minister's office. But Jitendra Singh goes on to highlight that the Honorable Prime Minister is of the firm belief that the process of lateral entry has to be aligned with the principles of equity and social justice enshrined in our Constitution, particularly concerning the provisions of reservation. Vasudha, if I can come to you now, we had in fact posed this question repeatedly to the BJP spokespersons as well, but in a way they were skirting the issue about reservations within lateral entry, because this had been a point which had not just been raised by the Congress yesterday, but a point which had been raised by the National Minorities Commission also a couple of years back, in 2021 to be precise for that matter, that whether or not there should be a provision of reservations within the lateral entry scheme as well. And as Nikunj was also pointing out, that we do not know at this point in time whether or not the government is mulling to tweak the lateral entry scheme, give it up altogether, or what exactly is the next course of action. This letter is particularly specifically regarding these 45 posts that the UPSC had recently advertised about. So the letter is specific or limited only to that for the moment, but what is the next course of action that the government is mulling over? That is also, of course, something which is intriguing at this point in time. Let me bring in my colleague Vasudha now. Vasudha, so in the past 24 hours, something has changed, because we saw a very emphatic defense coming in from the government and the ministers yesterday, and now this.
Absolutely, Tanima. In the last 24 hours, like you pointed out, the government did come up with a narrative that starting with Sam Pitroda to Nandan Nilekani, it's the UPA government that brought in this, tradition of having lateral entrance, but it's the BJP government that has streamlined it and given it a sense of reform. But of course, that's not really something that is sticking with the opposition, and this is something that the government is very worried about, because like Nikunj was also saying, when it comes to the Lok Sabha election results of 2024, be it Maharashtra or Uttar Pradesh, one thing that according to senior experts has really impacted the BJP's results is this narrative that the BJP is against SC/ST reservations, also OBC reservation. So which is why you may remember that even in the case of the Supreme Court making some very critical observations regarding the creamy layer or subcategorization of OBCs, BJP MPs from SC/STs did come out and make their position very clear that even the government is not very keen on the creamy layer concept. So this is one area where the BJP does not want to take a chance. When it comes to lateral entries, 45 positions were advertised by UPSC. That is a huge number, including directors, deputy directors, and joint secretaries. These are senior positions in the bureaucracy. So clearly, it wouldn't have taken much time for a narrative to actually pick momentum, especially if the opposition wanted it. And it seemed like the opposition was at it, because from Rahul Gandhi to Mallikarjun Kharge, senior leaders of the Congress had started speaking. This has been, the center of their campaign, regarding caste census, and also most importantly, the fact that they want to show the government as discriminatory when it comes to SC/ST and OBC reservations. So this is the government, the Modi government, taking this big move under the pressure of its own opposition, in its own allies, including the JDU and the LJP, but also making it clear that it does not want any wrong sentiment to go on ground, especially when Maharashtra is all set to vote, Haryana is all set to vote. So this is more of a political move than a move of reform. It's just going, and we've seen that in the case of the broadcasting bill as well. So this is a new government in place. We've not seen this happen very often in Modi 2.0 and in the first regime. We have only seen that in the case of land acquisition bill, which was too early for the Modi government to take those decisions. And of course, in the case of farm laws, where the Prime Minister came and said this. And today, if you look at the letter itself, Jitendra Singh makes it very clear that it's the Prime Minister who put in place social justice, and the government will completely oblige with the constitutional mandate and will not alter, will not really tweak any kind of reservation policy. So that's assurance that the government has given with this move to the SC/ST population.
Right, Vasudha, as you rightly mentioned, that this is a very rare occasion when we have seen the government actually making such a move just a day after, this issue has been raised by the opposition, and where we have seen BJP spokespersons and ministers also defending the scheme. But besides what the Congress has in fact raised, take us through the kind of objections that BJP's own allies, key NDA voices, have in fact raised about this particular scheme, and the fact that there's no provision of reservation in it. And in fact, whether we credit it to the allies' pressure or not, there are of course other reasons which have been listed in that letter. But there has clearly been concerted voices which have come in from the allies, which in a way must have been taken into account when the government has taken this decision. As you said, it's more of a political decision.
Absolutely. If you look at JDU's KC Tyagi, who made it very clear that, the position of the JDU is to ask the centre to take a review of these advertisements. And if you look at Chirag Paswan, who has 5 MPs, he also made it very clear that social justice has to be the centre of any appointment in the government. So while the government kept saying that, this is about merit and this is about, bringing in reforms and ensuring that, that there is, technocracy, that there are expedited measures, moves in the government to ensure progress and development. That narrative was not sticking because social justice, Tanima, is the reality of this country. The focus of social justice. Every party seems to be doing that. BJP cannot really try to sort of take a different stand, especially at a position at a time like this when it has 240 MPs of its own, but still is not really the most. It doesn't have the magic number of 272. It is dependent on its allies. TDP, of course, with 16 MPs, the most important constituent of NDA, did welcome this and said that the government did the right thing by bringing in domain experts and all that. But clearly, the pressure of the allies was important. But what the opposition said was very important because Rahul Gandhi did put forward this very important post that, it is one way of sidestepping reservation policy and ensuring that, RSS-aligned people come into the system. So that, is something that that's a narrative that really caught on with people's imagination, according to experts in 2024 elections, which is why the BJP was reduced, was reduced in huge numbers in Maharashtra and UP, and that is something that the government does not want a repeat of, especially before the assembly polls in Jharkhand, Haryana and Maharashtra.
Right. Vasudha there, thank you so much for joining us. We'll, of course, keep coming back to you for more. And this big breaking update that we are bringing for our viewers right now about the centre having a rethink about these advertisements which have been put out with regards to lateral entry into civil services. For the moment, we'll head into a short break. Stay with us.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate, let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One World Hygiene.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One World Hygiene.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate.
Welcome back. We are bringing the breaking update for our viewers, and that is with regard to the lateral entry controversy. Now, just a day after defending the fact that the centre is looking at 45 posts to be filled by lateral entrance into civil services, now Union Minister Jitendra Singh has written into the UPSC asking the civil service body to cancel the advertisement of those 45 posts. In fact, in that letter, the minister in fact said that there is, of course, a consideration which is being put by the Prime Minister as far as social equity and justice is concerned. Remember, the Congress yesterday, the opposition parties had in fact yesterday raised this point as to whether or not rights of backward classes, the OBC and SC/ST were being denied by this lateral entry scheme. Let me go across to my colleague Maria for more on this. Maria, you know, we have in fact seen an emphatic defense yesterday, but if you can piece together what exactly happened in the past 24 hours, of course, the opposition questions being raised by the Congress, but also very importantly, several key NDA faces also have in fact come out and objected to this scheme and the advertisements which had been put out recently.
Yes, that's right. So several NDA allies from Chirag Paswan to JDU, all of them had opposed it, saying that this certainly doesn't stand on the principles of equity and that this will be seen as anti-SC/ST. So the government certainly was treading on a very, very, crucial or thin line here, and hence they have gone ahead and taken this call. If you look at this letter which has been, sent by Jitendra Singh, who is the DOPT minister, he says very clearly that while most of the major lateral entries before 2014 were made in an ad hoc manner, including case of alleged favoritism, efforts of our government have been to make the process institutionally driven, transparent and open. So the point being made by the government here is that any kind of lateral entry is something that was not new, that it was not brought in during Prime Minister Modi's tenure, that this is an old process which was done during the UPA. It is the Congress which has been the brainchild behind lateral entry. But pre-2014, the entire process was not transparent and institutionalized. What was playing out is pure favoritism. And that's what the government is saying, that they have questioned it and they were trying to counter it by this kind of process through advertisement in papers. But not just the allies of the government, the opposition leaders from Rahul Gandhi to Tejasvi Yadav to Akhilesh Yadav, all of them had questioned the entire process. Remember, the government has been facing question about, in fact, Manikam Tagore, a member of parliament of the Congress party, is joining us. Manikam Tagore, really appreciate your time. Of course, the Congress party has been very, very vociferous in its opposition to the lateral entry advertisement which was issued by the UPSC. Now the government going ahead and cancelling the process. Do you see this as the step in the right direction?
So one thing is very clear, that we have a weak Prime Minister after the Parliament elections. The Prime Minister is the authority, is the weak Prime Minister we have, and therefore only without thinking through all the processes, the Prime Minister has decided, and after the public pressure, particularly after the opposition leaders, Rahul Gandhi's pressure and the people's pressure, they are forced to withdraw it. This 2024 election just gave us two things. One is a weak Prime Minister, second is a strong opposition leader.
Yes, but Manikam Tagore, talking about the opposition and also the point that has been made by the government in this letter, which has been sent by the DOPT minister to the UPSC, that pre-2014, the lateral entry process was about favoritism. What they were trying to do post-2014 is to institutionalize this process. And the fact is that it was introduced during the Congress government.
We need to understand that lateral entry. Yesterday we saw Law Minister speaking about Dr. Manmohan Singh as lateral entry story and others. There is no time 42 officers have been recruited like this en masse. We were speaking about a time where lateral entry, why it was tested earlier, because there were talent which was left out, which was not in the bureaucracy, which has to get outside from the academics and other areas. Now the government is trying to do is fill with their people into the government. That's the thing which the backlash has started, and we all know that India is an unemployed country now. Lakhs and lakhs of youth are unemployed now. Therefore, only the pressure is on the Prime Minister, who is unable to rule this country, who is unable to give jobs to the youth of India. Therefore, only they are forced to withdraw their own order. He has become a U-turn Prime Minister now.
All right, Manikam Tagore, appreciate your time. Thank you so much. We have Mr. Vajpayee of the LJP joining us as well. Among the allies of the NDA, one party which has been, vehement, and Chirag Paswan has been demanding this entire process be recalled or withdrawn. We have the spokesperson of the party joining us. Mr. Vajpayee, how would you look at this development which has come in?
No, my party has already decided and taken up a view that it is disturbing the provisions of the Constitution. In fact, the mandate is to provide reservation to the weaker sections and SC, ST and OBC. How they can violate it by adopting the other methods? In fact, it's the employment which is being taken away by the government of India and the state within the Article 12. So they are bound to follow the provisions of the reservation as provided under the Constitution of India, Article 16 and so on. So that's why our party is strongly opposing it and also appealing to the government that they say either they should withdraw it or they should reconsider it. We are not opposed against the lateral entries, because lateral entries, if on a specialized subject or specialized field or the seat, then we have no objection. But a mass appointment of 45 vacancies, that's disturbing us. That creates a doubt in the mind of our party that government is trying to touch the reservation part by adopting such methods. So we appeal to government of India.
Why do you say it has already been withdrawn? It has already been cancelled because the letter has been sent by the DOPT Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh, that this entire process be withdrawn and cancelled. It says very clearly, of course, but yes, so it has just happened, sir. So I want to understand from you, why did LJP have any kind of doubt on the intentions of the government?
Because their action is against the contrary to the mandate of the Constitution of India. Once you are appointing persons, you are bound to follow the reservation policy. That's why we are opposing, but we welcome the move if it is withdrawn, and we are thankful to the Prime Minister of India and Government of India that they have considered our voice, because we are the first person. Chirag Paswan is the first person who has opposed it very strongly. So that's why we welcome the stand.
Yes, that's right. All right, you're welcoming the stand. LJP's reaction coming in there, Tanima. So, but you know, the important part in this letter which has been sent by the DOPT Minister to the UPSC chairperson is also this, that Honorable Prime Minister is of the firm belief that the process of lateral entry must be aligned with the principles of equity and social justice enshrined in our Constitution, particularly concerning the provisions of reservation. For the Prime Minister, reservation in public employment is a cornerstone of our social justice framework, and it is aimed at addressing historical injustices and promoting inclusivity. So I think that message that is coming in from the Prime Minister in this letter also becomes important, Tanima.
Very important words there, in fact, in that letter, and significant decision by the government now putting the advertisements there on hold. Maria, thank you so much for joining us with that. We'll, of course, keep our coverage of this big story coming in on the channel, but for the moment, we'll head into a short break. Stay tuned to NDTV.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate, let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. 10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our government, our environment, our society, and ourselves. Everyone, everywhere, every day. Banega Swasth India. One world hygiene.
Landslide devastation in Kerala's Wayanad. Join NDTV's initiative. Donate for Kerala.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hi, I'm Shreya Saran. Kerala's Wayanad area is hit by devastating landslides, resulting in loss of lives and livelihood. Kerala needs your help right now. Let's join NDTV initiative. Come, donate. Let's rebuild Wayanad.
Some people say the metaverse will only be virtual. One day this lecture hall will be made of code, and driverless cars would be trapped in intersections. But even in this maze of the future, you can't wish away health. It's time to become more resilient. "10 years of Banega Swasth India, we have grown and achieved so many milestones. And now I have a plan to beat the urgency, to stop breathing with difficulty, to relieve getting choked with inactivity. Energize our
Hello and welcome to NDTV. I'm Ankit Tyagi. Let's quickly take you to the headlines we are tracking at 2 p.m. Allies force government to rethink on the lateral entry. Jitendra Singh to UPSC. Cancel lateral entry advertisement. Union Minister writes to UPSC. No quota in lateral entry. Must align with the social justice equity. Shocking assault next to Mumbai. 2 children molested in a school. Angry parents. Protesters block railway tracks. Spelled stones. After a Kolkata horror, Supreme Court highlights systemic failure. Supreme Court grills Bengal government over delayed FIR. Says, why did hospital not file the FIR promptly? Why government failed to secure the crime scene? The power of Bengal government shouldn't be unleashed on protesters. Supreme Court says can't wait for another rape to change ground reality. Sets up a national task force on hospital safety. Task force to focus on upgrading hospital safety. Kerala film industry dirty truth out. Panel report exposes exploitation of women actors. Panel report says casting couch a troubling reality in the Kerala film industry. Now, this is a big political story, ladies and gentlemen, which, of course, the opposition is going to claim victory. New political reality setting in for the Modi government, in fact. Top, sources have told NDTV that lateral entry controversy, the government has now taken a U-turn. The government has backtracked on the lateral entry, advertisement, and this has been forced upon the government after massive opposition, and then voices of opposition from within the NDA, the allies, have forced the government's hand on key recruitment. Now, this lateral entry controversy, remember, an advertisement was released by the union government in which 45 positions to the level of joint secretary were in fact proposed, with people, those who have 15 to 30 years of experience in various domains. Now, Union Minister Jitendra Singh has written to the UPSC asking them to cancel the advertisement, and has also said that no quota in the lateral entry and the appointments must uphold social justice as far as reservation and other provisions are concerned. Meanwhile, allies, as I said, LJP, JDU, all were opposed to this lateral entry scheme of the government. So this is an important story. LJP, remember, Chirag Paswan's party had very, very clearly said that they are opposed to this. And remember, right from the day this advertisement came out, there was massive, in fact, opposition from the Congress and other opposition parties, saying that this does not, this is the government trying to, in fact, get in their own people, is what Rahul Gandhi had said. And now, under pressure from their own allies, you can see Chirag Paswan there, who has said that they are absolutely and fundamentally opposed, in fact, to this scheme for not upholding social justice. The LJP has said that mass appointments could create doubts in the mind of people. Remember, the government had come up with this this advertisement, and the Congress, very quick, in fact, to claim victory on this, also reminding the government that this is the new political reality after the results of election 2024. So this is a big story that we are tracking at this moment. 45 key recruitments were advertised in this ad by the UPSC, which now stands cancelled. At least that is what the Union Minister Jitendra Singh, in his letter to the UPSC, has written, and has said that till the time, of course, the provisions as mandated in the Constitution for a reservation and for other quotas is not implemented, even in the lateral entry, this appointment should not go ahead. The LJP is also claiming victory and has said that we have asked the government to reconsider. We are not opposed to lateral entry, but large-scale entry of this kind without, the basic benefits of quota and others in this, in fact, appointment would create doubts in the mind of the people. Remember, this once again, after the 2024 elections, has once again given the opposition the handle to hit the government with, saying that, there is real threat to the opposition, to the reservation. As far as the government is concerned, the Congress, in fact, trying to paint it, Rahul Gandhi himself going ahead and saying that this seems like some sort of, a scheme to bring in BJP's own people. My colleague Maria Shakil now joins us with more details on this. Maria, more or less, this can be summed up as the new political reality post the 2024 election setting in. Not only the opposition from outside, but opposition within has forced the government their hand as far as this scheme is concerned.
Well, the LJP-led Chirag Paswan was actually, in fact, Chirag was one leader who had started the opposition to this entire lateral entry process. He was of the opinion that there is much more than what meets the eye, and he was very, very vociferous in his opposition as well. Besides him, also the JDU and Jitendra Mamata of Bihar. So these, NDA allies had been questioning it. The government on its part, if you look at the paragraph which has been, put out here, particularly with regard regards to what the Prime Minister said. The letter, in this letter, the Minister is clearly saying that the Prime Minister is of the opinion that reservation in public employment is a cornerstone of social justice framework and is aimed at addressing historical injustices and promoting inclusivity. There were concerns. The Congress in particular had been saying that there is the larger ploy of the government to do away with reservation. That was the narrative which was being built. The government really did not want to go ahead with that kind of narrative, and hence they went ahead and realized that the administrative tinkering is best not done. It is best avoidable, and hence this letter which has been sent by Dr. Jitendra Singh, who is the DOPT minister, to the UPSC, in which they say very clearly that before 2014, the ad hoc manner in which the lateral entries actually happened, signified some kind of alleged favoritism. And the efforts of the government of Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been to ensure that this entire process is institutionalized, transparent and open as well. Well, that is really the intention of the government. That's what they were saying. Now that it has been withdrawn, the LJP is saying that this is a welcome move, and they are, of course, patting their back.
Right, Maria, thank you, in fact, for joining us with all those details. An important story there at this moment coming in where, like Maria said, LJP, JDU, key allies were opposed to this, so was the opposition. And now from the LJP to the Congress, all taking credit of this U-turn, or at least is backtracking by the government on this advertisement for the lateral entry of 45 key in fact, posts that was advertised by the UPSC. Meanwhile, moving on, in fact, to Mumbai, where another shocking sexual assault has come to light. 2 children were molested in a school. Both girls, 4-year-old, were molested by a school staff. Angry parents have staged protests, and the school's negligence is also under the lens. The Maharashtra Women Panel has asked the police to submit a report. Remember, this happened in Thane, the suburb right next to Mumbai, close to Mumbai. Massive protests today were witnessed at the railway station, where protesters blocked the railway tracks, pelted stones as well. The sexual assault in the school in Thane's Badlapur area has shocked the people. 23-year-old school staffer has been arrested, and the probe reveals negligence, the lapses, and an attempt to cover up by the school management.
13 से 16 तक हुआ था और 18 तारीख को इसके 13 से 16 तक हुआ था और 18 को जब कंप्लेंट दी गई तो 12 घंटे तक इसका कुछ कॉग्निजेंस नहीं लिया गया, इसलिए वहां की जो सीनियर पीआई है उनको ट्रांसफर किया गया है। और ये जो आरोपी है जिसका नाम अक्षय है, ये अक्षय को पुलिस ने अरेस्ट किया है और उस पे जो कलम लगाए हुए हैं वो पोक्सा के जो कलम है उसमें 74 है, 75 है, 76 है। अगर इकट्ठा ये प्रूव हो जाता है तो इसको कुल मिला के 13.5 साल की सजा हो सकती है। इसके लिए हम लोग फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट में ये केस लेके जाएंगे, स्पेशल पब्लिक प्रोसिक्यूटर देंगे और कड़ी से कड़ी सजा उसको देंगे।
Remember, this has come, and a worrying trend, ladies and gentlemen, how it has emerged in the last few days from Kolkata to Tamil Nadu. Yesterday we reported on that story, and now to Mumbai. There is not any corner in the country which can claim there is safety for women. Look at the anger which has spilled over. There are people, hundreds and thousands of people on the tracks demanding justice, not only for these 2 girls, but also these parents worried. Where are your girls? Where are your daughters safe? If they are not safe in their own school, if they are not safe at their workplace, which corner are they safe is the big question that we also are asking here on NDTV. 4-year-old young girls, in fact, children being molested there at a school in Thane. Shocking, absolutely shocking. My colleague Radhika joins us with more details at this moment on this. Radhika, you find it very hard to express your feelings in words when you see a story like this, where 2 4-year-old children were in fact molested in a school. I mean, it seems there is no place safe for women across this country.
Absolutely. Very, very shocking incident. Very disturbing. 2 toddlers, 2 4-year-old kids were allegedly sexually assaulted inside the school. They are pre-primary students. Inside the toilet of the school is where a 23-year-old predator sexually assaulted them. In fact, this was known to the parents only after these kids complained of pain, after which they were sent to the hospital. They were taken to the hospital where medical examination confirmed that they were in fact sexually assaulted. Also, the children did narrate the ordeal to the parents, after which they went ahead and tried to file a complaint. But the complaint was not taken immediately. It took at least a couple of days for police to register the FIR, which is why now action has been taken against the police station in charge. That man has been suspended for delay in registering of the FIR. Of course, now all kinds of assurance given by the state government as far as fast-tracking this case is concerned. We saw violent protests taking place. Parents are, of course, outraged over the fact that there was delay in registering of the FIR, and in the beginning, the school did not want to take any accountability or responsibility for what happened. Now, of course, last-ditch effort being done by the school authorities. School management has suspended the principal, the responsible class teacher and a female attendee. What the parents are saying is that there was not a single female attendant at the time, and it was just this one predator attendant or rather cleaner who was in the school at the time on duty. He was serving as a cleaner on contractual basis. He had just joined the school and he was the only person who was there at the time, who was in fact escorting these small little children and later, of course, sexually assaulting them. So very, very disturbing turn of events. This happened last week. Took a while for the FIR to be registered, post which, of course, no reaction from the school authorities for the longest time. They did not take any accountability or even give any sort of assurance. In fact, the police investigations and parents also say that most of the CCTV cameras in the school is non-functional and they do not have permanent female contractual staff. So at this point, of course, school suspending some of its staffers and teachers as well as principal. A fast-track court is where the case could be tried. State government also assuring of all the necessary action. Now, of course, the man has
Radhika,
been arrested.
I'm sorry I'm interrupting you here, but there is an important press conference coming in of the, in fact, LJP's Chirag Paswan, said to be, in fact, vociferously opposing the lateral entry scheme. And let's listen into what he has said after the government's U-turn.
रद्द किया जाता है। मैं मेरी पार्टी लोक जनशक्ति पार्टी रामविलास मेरे प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी का धन्यवाद देती हूँ और मैं समाज की तरफ से अनुसूचित जाति जनजाति पिछड़ा वर्ग से आने वाले लोगों की तरफ से भी मेरे प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी का मैं धन्यवाद करता हूँ कि उन्होंने एक बड़े वर्ग की चिंता को सम्मान देने का काम किया और जो ये नियुक्ति निकाली थी उसको रद्द करके पुनः उन्होंने इस समाज का विश्वास जीतने का काम किया। ये पत्र थोड़ी देर में आप सबके साथ मैं साझा भी कर दूंगा। इस पत्र के माध्यम से यूपीएससी चेयरमैन को ये निर्देशित किया जाता है डॉक्टर जितेंद्र सिंह जी के द्वारा, जो कि एमओएस है पीएमओ के, उनके द्वारा ये निर्देशित किया जाता है चेयरमैन यूपीएससी को और इसमें कहा जाता है